You sure you're ready for this?
I'll do my best.
Your best? Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and the prom queen.
Welcome to the Best Soccer Show, the best soccer show in the whole world.
Here we go! It's JD and the Rod, America's Best Soccer Show, and we are live. We are in the building. We're fired up. We're graying just here, right on the chin area.
Yeah.
Right. You know what, Jared? We look distinguished as hell right now. You and me?
You know what? My wife did say to me the other day, it's not fair that you get gray and you look better, and I get gray and I have to go spend $200.
The world is a very unfair place. I will agree with that. It's I sometimes I had this moment not that long ago. You know, Instagram does this very annoying thing where it throws memories at you. Like 5 years ago, you were doing this. Do you want to post this picture? And I look at this stuff and I'm like, I am way better looking than I was 5 years ago. What the hell?
Ooh, I'm not sure if I'll say the same thing about myself. Listen, you were single during a time in those 5 years, so
true.
You definitely got yourself like on track. Where
maybe I'm okay. By the way, I'm not suggesting that I'm starting from a position of massive handsomeness and I got more handsome. I'm simply saying that
I am,
at least in terms of the way I dressed, my style choices. Maybe the hair, maybe the fact that, you know, I got contacts since then. And I think I look better with.
I think your present girl's got a lot of flavor, though. I think she's rubbing off on you. She got flavor. I've seen her like pictures. She's got a good sense of style.
Okay, that's fair. I won't deny that she does. And I won't deny that perhaps my sense of style improved once I met her. Now, she doesn't always agree with my choices. Sometimes I'm like, oh, yeah, this looks good. And she's like, no, that she is not necessarily a fan of the more slim fit pant wear that is popular these days.
Amongst men or women?
Amongst men. She's not a big fan of that. I like it streamlined. I kind of feel like that's
straight
my
leg
style, but she's a little bit not necessarily boot cut or anything like that. I'm just saying,
God, no.
No disaster.
You rocking no boot cut. That's one step away from bell bottoms, man. What are you doing? Like, you gotta get a straight leg.
You were never maybe a little bit too bunched up at the bottom there with your jeans.
I mean, I went directly from a very baggy style. And I think I probably went directly into straight leg. I don't think I ever went like into a tapered leg. I don't. At least not on purpose. I might have bought something wrong one time online or something, or someone got a gift.
I think at one point, not that long ago, I pulled out a pair of jeans that I had purchased when I was first started dating her, and I was like,
skid marks?
No,
Oh.
Clean, very, very clean.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's unfortunate.
Damn, I didn't know where you're grabbing them from.
I mean, they were just in storage, right? I hadn't worn them in a
gotcha.
long time. They had been shuffled right to the bottom of the deck, basically. And
Yes, I have those.
I'm doing a lot of work around my house. I'm doing a lot of handyman kind of stuff, and it's dirty, you know, and it gets dusty, and you don't want to use your nice clothes. You got to put on something grungy. And I put them on, and I was like, why the hell did I buy these? They're basically like falling. I'm not saying I'm slimmer, but they're so big everywhere. Like the styles have completely changed. Very interesting. And again,
here's the danger. You're wearing those pants to do stuff around the house. You are plumber's crack man. Like you're probably showing crack and you don't realize it in all the activities you're doing.
That's possible. I think I think
actually, you know what? You don't show crack 'cause you wear underwear. Never mind. That's a danger for me.
That's right, because you are undie free since 2003, right? If we
need a clip of Arnold Schwarzenegger from the movie Commando, just for me, and then when we talk about this.
What is that? Does he? Because
I don't think they ever say the word commando in that whole movie. Do they?
They don't say the title of the movie in the movie.
I don't think so. He's just. I think it's one of the words like they made the title, but they didn't really have anything to do with the movie. You know, like he was a former soldier. That's the closest thing it has to do with it. You know, they should have called it Alyssa Milano Heartthrob Crush for Every Little Boy.
That was the original introduction. To Alyssa Milano, right? Was that the first time we saw her?
I think she may have already been on. No, she's pretty. I don't know. Those might have been coinciding pretty close. I'm not sure. That might be something Nick have to look up for us. Is like which was first, the chicken or the egg on Commando or Who's the Boss?
Yeah, we need to figure that out. All right, so we are here. We are live. We are taking your phone calls on the show at 717-727-2378, 727-BEST. That's the number. We want to make sure that we get people ready to talk about MLS is back.
Let me first tell you. So we're a week into MLS, but it's back right now. Okay.
It sounds weird to say, by the way. It's still dumb.
It's weird. We're a week back into a tournament.
Do we want to call it MIB? Do we want to call it the Orlando Project? Do we want to call it Florida something Florida related?
COVID Cup runs off the. I mean, it
does, but I feel like that brings us.
I love alliteration.
Energy wise, like I want it. Like, yes, it is the COVID Cup. We all know that 100%. But I don't want it to I don't want us to continue to hammer home.
The whole tournament we called El Tropico.
Okay, we could call the whole tournament El Tropico. Sure.
But here's the thing. And I want all three of us to kind of weigh in on this, and Nick as well when he has a chance. Are you already fatigued?
Are you
after I can't watch all these games, dude. It's too many. I have no life if I try to watch all these.
Yeah, that's going to be a good question for the people. I am finding myself a little overdosing just a little bit. I definitely find myself.
I need a hydration break.
There's another game. And look, we had this discussion tonight, right? It's live. It's on Wednesday. You guys know how we do. We take calls. We're interactive. Last week we shifted the show an hour because there were games on, and we didn't want to necessarily.
Still on by the time we left. We started.
Right. There was a game that wasn't over yet. Tonight, the game started at 9 p.m. Eastern time, which is, by the way, right now. But we decided we can't continue to move around. And I'm sorry, it's Vancouver and San Jose. It's not the most jump off.
I gotta say, Almeida's team looked better than I thought they were.
Where's it even airing?
God, this is a whole different thing.
It's a TUDN game. It's a Twitter
Twitter.
game.
That's where it's airing. It's on Twitter.
If you don't have the Univision Deportes channel, it is on Twitter.
Yeah, but how many of us have Spanish Network and the sports affiliate of the Spanish Network to be able to watch this?
That's the good question. And immediately when the game started hitting that station, I saw a lot of tweets about, I don't get it. It's not on my channel. You know why? Because every cable company, and even the over-the-top streaming services, they force you to get the Spanish language tier separate. So you can't get it's not, even though it's a sports channel, it's not in your sports tier. You don't get ESPN, but you get ESPN Deportes, right? With your ESPN. I don't know how that works. Actually, I'm not even sure.
Well, out here, Univision, because it's an over-the-air network out here too, because Telemundo, Univision, they've always been on you could just turn a dial back in the day with antenna and get those channels. I think most of the time those are included out here where I'm at because those are free channels anyway, if you wanted them to be. But you still don't have the second tier of them. And here's the other part that makes it hard for me. My smart TV doesn't have the app for this. Amazon Fire Stick doesn't have the app for this. The things I usually use to watch TV where I'm comfortable on my couch in my living room, everyone's like, oh, go get your computer, your laptop, or I don't want to watch this. I want to watch these games on my big Biggie TV, and I don't want to have a tether of an umbilical to a cord to do all these things to be able to watch it on my big TV. I love it when ESPN and Fox have it. I'm watching them. I'm trying to watch as many as I can. Yeah. But these ones are a hole for me, and I think they're a hole for a lot of people.
We're going to come to the very different experience, and oddly, TUDN, the broadcaster that has the games we're talking about, they've kind of gone back and forth on this. But we're going to have to discuss the difference in experience between watching on ESPN and on Fox. It's a completely different vibe. And it's weird to kind of whiplash back and forth between those two things. Do you care? So you're talking about there being too much soccer, Jared. Are you paying attention to the results? I mean, we have to talk about
the galaxy, right? I think I've watched, if I haven't watched a game, I think I've at least seen the recap of every game. There might be one or two I missed out there, but I'm following as close as I can and still have a full-time job and life and keeping my wife from wanting to divorce me. They should call it the divorce cup because that's what you were going on right now.
Keeping her pleasured, but I didn't want to step on any areas.
All I gotta do is put a TV on. You find a game that has Chris Mueller on it, and she'll be entertained.
Oh yeah, is she?
No, I don't know. He's a handsome man.
I mean but okay. I like Chris Mueller, and we're going to talk about him. But it's a particular version of frat boy, right? It's a maybe not even
honestly,
that.
I'm trying to figure out. I don't know anymore who the most handsome man in MLS is. I mean, for so long there was just Beckham, and then a few other people. Mike McGee was on his own team, so it was like a 2-man race for a long time in the same team.
Doesn't it feel like all the handsomest men in Major League Soccer are now either coaching or general managers? Carlos Bocanegra in Atlanta, Thierry Henry in Montreal, Raphael Wicki in Chicago, who I know is your choice for him.
Thierry Henry.
Let's see. I was going to say Luchi Gonzalez. You can throw him in that mix, I think.
I would throw Henry and Olsen in there. Those are both handsome men.
Okay, sure. Olsen is a acquired taste, maybe not necessarily up my alley.
Listen, I like him with whiskers. I don't know what to tell you.
You like the distinguished looked, right?
I like that he has a cashmere sweater on all the time.
He's always, even in the 85-degree weather in Florida, he's still rocking the cashmere. Still,
no, I mean, if he's on the beach with his shirt off, he's got a cashmere sweater on.
That's right, exactly. He's body surfing.
I mean, I might throw Carlos Pavone out there as maybe one of the. He's kind of Tiger beat though.
Okay, that's an interesting one.
I'm not sure if he's handsome or just good looking.
What'd you say?
I'm not sure if he's handsome, like a grown man handsome, or he's young man good looking. Like,
well, they're definitely different levels of,
yeah.
Again, sort of refined, distinguished, classically handsome, maybe like a Juan Paulo Angel, right? That's a
yes. Oh, that's a man's man right there.
And then there's more of the Michael J. Fox area of handsome.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Jester Taylor Thomas kind of stuff.
Yeah, this is why you come to the Best Soccer Show. I mean, JD and the Rod, right? This is why you come here for this exact stuff.
No one else is giving you this take right here.
Okay, so
I'm gonna have to pay more attention. See, I've been watching the wrong thing. I've been watching tactics and formations and ball movement. I need to watch ball movement, but a different kind.
Okay, no, that's okay. Well, there's the first one. Okay, that's the first one, everybody. So are you said that you thought San Jose looked pretty decent in that draw against Seattle, right? They're playing right now.
I was surprised on that in that first one. That's not one of the teams I really kind of put out there, but I do remember them having a decent first two games and being surprised even then, but not as a standout way. But I thought their first game was pretty well done by them.
If you were going to go sort of counterintuitive, right? So this is a tournament that may be picking the best team, meaning from the results in 2019, or if you want to take the two games we've seen in the regular season, it's not necessarily the best idea because it's a weird situation. It's 3 games to get to the knockout rounds. It's a tournament, right? The World Cup isn't the best soccer because teams are kind of cagey in the beginning in the group stage. I will say there have been games that are not cagey in this tournament so far. And I'm sorry, we're going to have to talk about FC Cincinnati and what happened to them. But for the most part, you do have San Jose is a cagey ass team. Like that's what they do. They play their weird.
I remember thinking Tommy Thompson was going to hurt someone. He was angry in that game, and for a team that didn't score in their opener, for me to still walk away and think, "Oh, they're okay," that's saying something. I mean, 0-0 draw against Seattle in their opener.
I can't believe we're
I still thought they were decent.
We can't stick on a game with no goals though, right?
It just happened to come across my head, and it's weird seeing Almeida without hair.
Well, it's not. It's growing in, but now he looks like a softball coach instead of an Argentinian soccer manager. Like it's very normal guy haircut, and he either has to be long hair all the way down, or the name Balado comes from bald. It's ironic, obviously, or bald when he shaved it all off. I will say that. Okay, let me just throw a couple of results at you, Jared, and just I want you to give me a little taste. Red Bulls beat Atlanta 1-0. Not a surprise necessarily. Red Bulls are pretty decent, and their style is kind of suited for this.
You don't think it's a surprise that Atlanta lost their opener? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like they were playing Cincinnati.
They don't have their best player. He wasn't on the field. He was at home kicking a ball into the wall 50 times and getting people excited on Instagram. So, I know they have,
but they're not going to have him for a while. So they've got to find a way around this. And here's the thing: Pity Martinez looked pretty good in this game.
Pretty good.
But it's just apparent that he doesn't have Blanco's not enough. I mean, it might say Barco is not enough. It's not going to be enough to really have that two-man front is not going to be enough. And I think Pity Martinez just can't keep going dribbling into 4 guys and 5 guys and trying to take on the whole team. Yeah, that's their problem. Their balance is off. He's a good player, but do they have the guy to do the work that Nagby did? Have they? I mean, Hyman is supposed to be that guy, but I'm not sure that's a replacement. So I think DeBoer obviously is. He got better towards the middle of the year last year. Things improved for Atlanta. They made the playoffs. They were a threat and all of that, but they lost to Toronto at home. I mean, clearly they weren't their old selves. And now without Joseph Martinez. So I don't know that I'm necessarily super surprised. I expected Atlanta to have some problems. Not to score at all. I think that maybe surprised me a little bit. I thought they still had enough power to get one goal in there, but Aaron Long looked fantastic in this game. I can remember that one tracking back run. I'm not sure if you remember that, where he covered about 60 yards to make the play on the other side.
Yeah, he's a big athlete, big time athlete, Aaron Long. All right, let's see. I'm gonna pass over Columbus beating Cincinnati.
Oh, by the way, can we talk about what a great name Florian Valot is?
Florian Valot is a fantastic name. Florian Valot is the hero of a 17th century novel, right? He's one of the three.
Come on, you got Royer and Valot.
Oh yeah,
playing up for that is a fantastically French kind of names right there.
I'm buying a man's bag if it's made by Royer and Valot. I'm buying that bag.
That sounds like a line of clothing. You're absolutely right. A handbag clothing or something like that. Yes, Royer and Valot. Why is that not happening already?
Coordinate.
Yeah, man. Give me a belt.
You know who needs to do that? There needs to be a collab with our boy SF over at Asbury Park.
Should it be Royer and Valot or Valot and Royer? Because I want the RV to be together.
I like the R first. I like the Royer Valot, but yeah, right. In a Louis Vuitton kind of symbol, RV, and it's just a pattern that they do it with Asbury Park, where it's like the pattern of the shirt or something like that in a Louis Vuitton pattern.
The Louis Vuitton situation.
Why are we not in charge of these things?
We have a goal in the game. Nikki Soup and Sausage breaking in to keep us up to date on MLS's back. Who scored?
Vancouver up 1-0 here in the 7th minute.
I told you I like Vancouver. I said it in our pregame, our preseason of this. I thought they looked good in those first 2 games and just didn't have results.
You were just talking up the Quakes. You were just saying that they look good in the
I told you before MLS's back has started and we started making picks. Vancouver was one of my picks to come out of this group.
Okay. All right. Well, they don't have Lucas Cavallini. Not that Freddie Montero is a big name, but he's not there either. I thought they were going to struggle. I know. Look, Jordy Reyna is a great player. He's a very good player. Nick, who scored the goal for Vancouver?
I'm going to probably butcher their name. Ali. It looks like more of a wing back. Ali. I'm trying to.
Ali Adnan?
Yep, that's who it was. Thanks,
Ali Adnan. Okay. Yeah. Ali Adnan's a talented player too. He can create some opportunities. Okay.
Yeah, if I remember right, in the first 2 games of the season, some of their best movements came from that left-hand side with him being a part of it.
Now, obviously, Vancouver, the last team to play. This is their first game in the tournament. Meanwhile, San Jose will have played 2 by the end of this. So things are a little bit off. This is the results of FC Dallas dropping out of the tournament or being pulled out, yanked out of the tournament. Nashville being yanked out of the tournament.
It's a blessing in disguise, man. Now we got all even pools.
No, I know. All right, let me just go through it again. We talked about some results. We can't hit on everything. It's just too much. But I should mention Minnesota, 2 goals in added time, Jared, to beat Sporting Kansas City, who was by far the better team on the day. That's a rough thing for Sporting to have to deal with. And I liked them in this tournament too. Doesn't mean they're done by any stretch. But
if you go back to the beginning of the season, they're now 3-0.
Minnesota is, yeah.
This was a matchup with the 2-0 teams, 2 of the 2-0 teams in the tournament. If you take a beginning of the season into account, and Kansas City looks like you're hitting on all cylinders. That the Polito touch to spring Kerry Shelton, the touch to himself.
Quick question for you here. That Alan Polito turn or Ramiro Montero's double dummy on the counterattack last night for Philadelphia? Which one you get?
You know what? I really enjoy that whole movement. They had the double step over, but that Polito's bit of skill. Here's the thing. The thing about that is it completely embarrasses a player. That's what I like about that. It's like that and one style. You know who you and I love the and one mixtapes, man. When you can embarrass a player, I got you.
Oh baby.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like you put the basketball up his own shirt and took it back from him on the turn. It's
whoop.
That is a touch of class and a touch of skill, and that's why I'm so excited to see the best players in Mexico coming and choosing MLS, because Polito and this type of thing with Pizarro also on Miami scoring last night. You're seeing some of the best talent in CONCACAF choosing MLS as their place to play. And I think this is the kind of thing you're seeing more of. The question is, will they have enough talent around them to take advantage of these skill sets that they're bringing here? Yeah. And at least say this, Kyrie Shelton finished. What was the keeper thinking on leaving the front post, though, on Kyrie Shelton?
Yeah, no, that was not good. That was certainly not good. So Sporting Kansas City going down to Minnesota United. I should mention, Philadelphia just talked about the goal that they scored, Chabilko, with the counterattack to put the dagger in Inter Miami last night. They've now qualified already for the second round with those 2 wins. So has Orlando. And you mentioned Chris Mueller. Jared, are you going to join my fan club, my Chris Mueller fan club, the Cash
Only if it has a good name.
Cash Money Millionaires? Come on, man.
Right. I was thinking like Mueller time. There's some other stuff out there, but Cash Money Millionaires, that's pretty good.
I think that's I feel like I lived up to the requirements of Jared Dubois.
No,
And
I was a little bit jealous that you thought of it first.
that's when I know I've done good. When he's actually jealous of something I've created. That never happens.
You know, I'm a hater. I'm a hater when people think of better ideas than me.
Okay.
But no, I like the name, and I think you'd be a fool right now not to be a fan of this kid. For young, American, flashy, he scores big goals. Going back to the All-Star game last year, I mean, I remember watching the All-Star game thinking like, is he really an all-star? And leaving it thinking like, oh, this kid's really good.
Yeah,
you know?
he's very American in the way he plays, which, you know, the league has evolved to a place now where you almost ding a guy like that. You almost say like, oh, is he too direct? Is he too much about his straight line speed? Those kind of things. And then you get to a place where you watch him and you actually see, yeah, he can do a couple of things a little bit. He can do a couple of other things besides just play, straight line wings, wing play. And there's a little bit of discussion now as to whether or not he might get a January call up at the very least. Right.
Well, here's the thing. So where do you put him on this? So you've got on the right-hand side, he naturally plays on like a right side, maybe a 4-3-3 style right-handed winger. We have Christian Pulisic likely on the left or in the middle. Is it a pick your poison between he and Jordan Morris at this point?
Well, I think that maybe Jordan Morris is the more refined player. He's the more experienced player.
And I don't think we're talking about starting. You know,
no, I'm not putting Jordan Morris out of the starting lineup. I'm saying Chris Mueller deserves a look, right? And if you consider, okay, Paul Arriola's hurt right now. Could you see Chris Mueller maybe stepping in for Paul Arriola?
I think the natural thought would be a lot of people would expect him to shoehorn someone like a Yedlin in there, a McKinney in there, someone in there that is kind of plays in that range, because you do have that problem still of Reggie Cannon, Yedlin, both for right back. And also that's assuming you put Dest on the left. So you do have like which one of those two players, maybe Cannon plays midfield, maybe Yedlin plays midfield, and you can find a way to get both those players on. But I think Mueller is a very serviceable replacement or option here. And also I like the idea with Christian Pulisic's vision right now and freeing players into gaps, having a player with that straight line speed like you talked about can really get behind defenses. And I do think that his game has come along enough where he can play a 1-2 and he can play himself into space. And if he gets that return pass, if he's playing out wide and he's the player making the return pass, or perhaps he's the one cutting inside and playing the channel, and then we get a cross, maybe we get a shot. I mean, he's obviously good enough. The one thing I don't know is if he's good enough defensively yet to play at the national team level. In MLS, you can get away with a lot of not tracking. At the national team level, I would really want to see him get. I think he's been called in for one camp, right? No, I don't think Chris Mueller's gotten a look. I don't think he didn't get that Camp Cupcake. I don't think he's been in Camp Cupcake. Are we still calling it Camp Cupcake? Why wouldn't we? Is there a better name? I don't know. Maybe we may change it. Are you saying 20 years later is now insulting to say Camp Cupcake or something? I'm saying like Greg Berhalter's name is German. Maybe it's Camp Strudel or something. I don't know. Maybe come up with something different. We didn't do that with Klinsmann. Why would we do that with Berhalter? I actually think we did do a little bit. We tried, but it was just too. Nobody liked Camp Strudel. They dumped us. I tell you, the people love alliteration. By the way, I'm going to remind everybody that the United States men's national team never missed a World Cup while the Best Soccer Show was on the air. Okay, just reminding you people of these facts that are true and provable. Okay, so one of the other things that came out of this first week of games is LAFC playing to a 3-3 draw with the Houston Dynamo. The game of the tournament in terms of entertainment so far, Jared, an absolute fire burner of a game. And we can talk about the way it played out. Clearly no Carlos Vela for LAFC. They can score goals without him, but can they defend enough to maybe go win the tournament or maybe be MLS Cup champions down the road? Because Bob Bradley he's a zealot, man. He is committed to this. He has talked about how he's not backing down from playing our football. He'll play our football the way he talks about it. Yeah, I think in the conversations you and I had, my main feeling was I didn't know if LAFC has the defense to put this together. I mean, when you think about it, they spend the money. Andy Nahar, he starts on the bench, and maybe it could just be he's not ready yet. No, he's not ready. But they have they have a couple of fullback options. But here's the thing: they put Blackman in, and that's one they're really high on anyway. And I think the ultimate plan is to get Jakovic out. and
Well,
get
yeah,
Blackman into the middle and put
Jakovic is
Andy
not the
Harlan.
guy you should be leaning on in that situation. That remains a hole for me. Segura's fine. Jakovic's a problem, but it's not even that. It's the midfield. It's pushing numbers
You think the
forward.
midfield's a problem?
No, I'm saying defensively because where does Latif Blessing want to go? Mark Anthony Kaye is a two-way player, but he's not another. Where are you looking at?
So you're saying they're asking too much of K?
They're asking too much of Atuesta. Actually, is the guy that has to cover. I mean, they're not getting enough. I'll say he's not Ozzy Alonso, is what I'm saying. At least not yet. So, and you're throwing numbers forward, and your fullbacks are pushing up. I mean, you're leaving your defensive midfielder and your center backs on an island, right?
That situation's going to get rougher when you put Andy Nahar in there. You think Andy Nahar wants to stay back? That guy wants to go forward.
No, that's why they got him.
Unfortunately, this is Los Angeles. I need more than talent. I need stars.
And if you end up putting Blessing in front of him, like they played Blackman and Blessing,
You stepped on enjoy the party. Enjoy the party. That's the important.
doesn't enjoy the party at the end?
At the end, he says, "Enjoy the party, man." Where
I
have
don't
you
think I've
been?
ever heard that. I don't think I've ever noticed that.
Oh, we talked about this already.
But here's the: if you put Blessing in front of Blackman, that's one thing. You put Blessing in front of Nahar, and to your point, you don't know what Blessing's going to do. He plays like he's free.
Yeah.
So if you're letting a guy play like he's free, you're going to actually, I think, hurt the ability of Andy Nahar to go forward, because who's going to cover that wing if you get exposed?
Oh, lots of space.
You're going to ask Atuesta to go all the way over to the right consistently like that?
There's lots of space there. Now, I was talking to you earlier today. I mean, this was an organic situation the other day where you came up with Alex Jermaine Jones on this program, right? Can you give us just a taste of Alex Jermaine Jones right now and what he might be saying about MLS's back?
It's all a farce to get you to not pay attention